Well, hello, and thank you for taking this time to hop on and hear about my life vantage story. It has been an amazing year and a half. Little bit about me. I have a mortgage background for 20 years, moved from California to Arizona in 2013. Um, I was at the time where I just needed a change in my life, and that was a huge change. So, moving here, I was trying to find myself. I ended up working at a restaurant, waiting tables, worked for a print shop. And then in 2019, I fell off a horse, and that led me to work for a chiropractor. So, working for a chiropractor, you learn different ways of health, a more natural way, a way I was very interested in. I was interested in what I put on, what I put in, and cosmetics. Everything came real important to me. Um, in 2023, I made a huge change in my life. I stopped drinking because in after 22 years of dealing with Crohn's colitis, I just knew that I had to make a huge change if I wanted to see real change. So in May of 2023, I stopped drinking, started eating less sugar. And then it was in July of 2023 where I met up with my best friend in Tennessee. And then I also met up with another longtime friend who I had been following for a year because she had some magic potion and that was going to make me feel better. And I saw the results in her. Um, so learned a little bit more about it. She was honest. She told me, this is what it is, and this is what it will do. But if you're looking for it to happen in 30 days, this isn't for you because it takes time. And anything that we know in life that is going to work, it takes time. So I believed it. I told her, I'll give you 4 months, 4 months. And 2 weeks into it, I'm like, I'm going to work this somehow, some way. I don't really see it. I mean, I see it, but I couldn't, it wasn't right there. So fast forward through the year, after 2 weeks of being on the liquid collagen and the activation little yellow pill, I saw better sleep, less brain fog. I was experiencing better bowel movements, and it was I was very excited. I also got my husband on the product, and he's in a story for another time. But like 3 months in, or just a month in, did you know you have the muscles in your colon that contract? Because for 22 years, I didn't feel it. It just came out. Sorry, getting a little bit graphic, but that's really how it was. So after a month, I could literally feel muscles in my colon, and it was helping in all that way. And it was such a relief. But along with that, I was experiencing so much less brain fog, the cognitive thinking, the ability to focus. There was just a lot. Um, I also, going to a chiropractor, experienced better adjustments because when you're getting to a cellular level, your body is functioning way better. Um, and just a little note, your gut is your second brain. So something was happening where the connection was happening. And I was excited. My husband was seeing it. Um, I was a sustainable weight. It was just amazing. So after 22 years of being on my inflammation medication for my digestive system, I was able to get off of that medication. And I had been on the Healthy Glow Stack for only 6 months when I was able to take that out of my life completely. It's been since January I've been off of it, and I've been able to sustain better gut health this whole time. Um, I just saw my gastrologist last week, I have to get a colonoscopy. I am looking forward to that because our game plan is at the end of this year, he will sign off on my pre-existing. So then my health insurance will be less because health insurance is astronomical. It's so important that we do take the time these days to be proactive in our health. Um, all I can say is I have energy like I've never had before. I don't think that I've had this kind of energy. I honestly can't remember. Um, I live a life of a lot of, I have very anxious gut, and I don't experience that anymore. Since October, I have been on the new P84. I love it. I love the sustainable energy. I do less collagen, but that, these products, when you're truly activated, you can do that. You can, work with it, try out, see what's best for you. But um, 2026, I want more accountability. I want to be able to share and with others what it's done for me, what it's done for my husband, my son, and somebody who's very near and dear to me in my life who was just recently diagnosed with hairy cell leukemia. Um, they have been on activation since May. And in 1 month, her white blood cells went from 900, which would have had admitted her to the hospital in 3 weeks, to 1100. And now she's maintaining cells. What her white blood cells are at 1500. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying that she's able to sustain and be healthy because that's what she needs during this time as she's going through this cancer. So, Life Vantage has just been, it did literally meet me where I was. I've heard it over and over as I've gone twice now to the conventions. And each time I am motivated and I am sure that where I am is where I need to be. I just need to keep plugging in, being around all these wonderful people that I've surrounded myself with for the last year. And just, I just appreciate having all the help, and I hope they know it. So, with that, one more thing: this life is short, even at its longest, and we don't know the quantity, but with activation, we do have a little control over our quality, and I'm just so grateful for that. So, with that said, I would like to introduce a couple of my business partners. I have Christy Vaught and Angie Harper. Both are EC3s. Christy is a holistic esthetician, has been with LifeVantage for 10 years. Her and her husband, Dave, live in Colorado. She has 4 adult children, 8 grandchildren with 1 on the way. Congratulations, Christy. And Angie was a kindergarten teacher, turned small business owner. She has been with LifeVantage since 2017, or for 9 years. LifeVantage to her was new. She was new to the industry, but she is just on fire, and she has a deep passion to share. And boy, is she great at it. So, with that said, I would like to go ahead and turn it over to Angie.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much, Summer. Christy, I have you and I side by side here, I hope. Can Jane, can you see us? No? Okay. I don't know what I did with the view. Hold on. I'll go back to
I
speaker
think
view.
you have to pin us.
Okay, well, go ahead. I just did speaker view. So, Christy, I think you're going to go first because you're going to
Okay.
talk. Guys, we decided we're not going to do a long, boring slideshow or anything. We're just going to talk from our hearts about how these products have helped us in our lives and in our business. And so, Christy's going to start with our flagship product. Since she came to this first, you're going to go first.
So thank you, Summer, for that. And so thank you for sharing your story. And the beautiful part of this business is just being surrounded by amazing people who just have a heart to help others and feel good and age well and all of the things. I'm going to be 60 this year, you guys. So, and my eighth grandbaby is on the way. And Dave, my husband Dave, is 4.5 years older than I am, 5.5 years older than I am. So, our whole, we're all about feeling good and aging well so we can travel and go see our kiddos and play with them as long as we can. So, and helping others do the same. I have been with LifeVantage for going on 10 years. And before this, I was a medical esthetician. And long ago, early on in my career, I'm like, I need to help people feel better because I was doing all these fancy treatments on their skin, but I'm hearing their stories and nobody felt good. It didn't matter how old they were, how much money they had in the bank. They were telling me they felt horrible. Lots of aches and pains, not sleeping well, hormones out of whack. Maybe they got recently diagnosed with a disease. And you guys, this was almost 30 years ago. I started out as an esthetician. I was 30 years old. And I'm like, this is horrible to help someone with their skin when their bodies are breaking down. So fast forward, I learned that inflammation is the root of all disease and just progressive aging itself. So I got my nutrition certification in whole food, plant-based nutrition, and started understanding like disease prevention, helping people change diet and lifestyle, everything I could to help them keep that inflammation down. Then I heard about LifeVantage. And so you're probably, if you guys don't really know about our hero product, Protandim NRF2, and you heard Summer sharing her story, you're probably like, what was it exactly that she was actually taking and why did it help her feel so good? So it's just this little guy, you guys. It's this little yellow pill that has 5 plant ingredients. And when we take it every day, it's activating our cells to make antioxidants like they do when they're young and healthy. And therefore, lower oxidative stress. So let's see, a really simple way to explain it is that, we're exposed to toxins just naturally. And some of us have, genetics that kind of affect our health and different diet and lifestyle. So we have these toxins, and the toxins are creating free radicals in our system. The free radicals are attacking the cell. I hope I'm creating a visual. So that attack on the cell, it's like rusting of the cell. It's called oxidative stress, the root of inflammation. But our cells have its own natural defense mechanism where they crank out antioxidants to neutralize oxidative stress. So things like eating broccoli, blueberries, help to turn on our cells to make antioxidants, but just kind of for a little blip of time and then die out. Right? So our cells are not making antioxidants like they should. So by taking this little guy, it's activating our cells to make those antioxidants, neutralizing oxidative stress every single minute of every single day of every single month of every single year that we're taking it. Clinically proven to lower oxidative stress by an average of 40%, almost in half, in the first 30 days. There's a really great ABC Primetime investigative report where John Quinones, way back in 2005, right after this was formulated, but he's interviewing the scientists who formulated it. And it was this big news story. It's always fun to watch because the science hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. There's no other product that does this. And other universities and institutions like Mayo Clinic, Texas Tech, Harvard University, American Heart Association, our National Institutes of Aging took their own money and they studied Protandim, and they got it third-party tested and published on PubMed. We now have 28 third-party peer-reviewed studies published on PubMed that prove that this guy here reduces oxidative stress. So by keeping that oxidative stress down at an all-time low, the body then can function and perform more optimally. It's literally lowering risk for disease and slowing down aging. It's not magic. It's not snake oil. It's just activating our own body's natural processes. So that's why I came on board 10 years ago, because this is what helps people live a more quality of life. And it's also my vehicle to help people understand they've got to be eating more foods, more whole foods, plant-based foods, and take our little pro tandem to really live the best quality of life. So we have so many testimonials, you guys. We have a customer support group that you can be added to that has almost 11,000 people in there. You'll just see some product education and just testimonials because it's all about the stories that keep us going, right? So Angie, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's funny, as I'm sitting here, I looked up on PubMed. It's the National Library of Medicine. It's where all your doctors go to research anything. And when I first started this 9 years ago, I think there was maybe 20,000 studies on oxidative stress. I just right now put in oxidative stress, and you guys, there's over 386,000 results. Like that's crazy. So if you don't know what oxidative stress is or how it might be affecting you and your body and how you're aging, I highly encourage you to get with whoever invited you here and learn more about oxidative stress. But I am so lucky. I get to talk about, don't worry, we're not going to talk about all of our products because we would be here way too long. We're talking about our core products today, three of them. And I get the privilege to talk about one of my favorite products behind the little yellow pill that Christy was just talking about. And this is liquid collagen. And Summer mentioned this in the beginning as part of her health journey. I know that this was instrumental. And I don't know about you guys, but I was really, really confused about collagen. It was everywhere, coming at me from everywhere. And I used to buy the little blue, the blue tub from Costco, and I would mix that into my coffee every single morning for like 2 years. I mixed that in my coffee and I never saw one thing. And when this was released, gosh, 3 years ago now, I was in love with this within 30 days. And I learned that our bodies stopped producing collagen around the age of 30. Now I'm 75, so no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But I first definitely noticed it in my skin for sure. I live in Arizona, like summer, and I'm supposed to have like leather skin. It's dry here, and I really don't. I don't even need lotion. My skin is always supple. My hair is growing like crazy for the first time in my life. And that's all great. I love the beauty aspect, don't get me wrong. But for me, the number one effect that this had on me was my shoulder. I used to run a mobile gym for kids, and I spent 9 years lifting kids up with my left shoulder onto a zip line on my mobile gym, which was a school bus. And just repetitive use, I for 6 years could not lift my arm above my head. It hurt to wash my hair. It hurt to put away groceries. I stopped doing yoga because it hurt too much to plank. I stopped lifting weights because I couldn't go overhead. And when I started this, it wasn't overnight. It took about 3 months. And I one day was like, whoa, I can lift my shoulder and it doesn't hurt. And that's really when my health journey began. I ended up going on to lose 25 pounds using an all natural GLP-1 system, which we also have. We're not going to talk about that today just for time. But overall, guys, the difference between this collagen, and I'm not going to lie, it's pricey. It is. And I used to think, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. People aren't going to buy it until I realized what women are spending on their skin and on beauty. And I'm here to tell you, if it works, they will spend the money, and this works. And like Summer said, you can work within your budget. I drank this every single day for a year, probably 2 years. And then I went to every 2 days. And then I went to, I put my son on it who plays college football. So I'm like, I'm going to drop down to every 3 to 4 days. And guess what happened? My shoulder pain came back. So I said, sorry, babe, you're not going to be out. No, I'm kidding. He's still on it too. And I found a way to make it work. And I'm drinking it every other day now. And I notice a difference in my skin for sure, my hair, and also my shoulder. So I encourage anybody to give away. I call it liquid gold. And it's in an amber bottle to protect it from oxidation. So Christy, I'm going to throw it back to you. You're going to talk about our newest product.
Okay, and this is the last product we're going to go over, but these are our main activators that are just so important, you guys. Our bodies don't recognize synthetic ingredients, right? If they don't know what to do. So even like your multivitamin, your body doesn't know what to do with that. So all of our products are like food-based and formulated in a way that they are activate our own natural responses to allow your body to function more optimally, like I stated. And so, our bodies know what to do with nutrition and plant foods. But did you know that Hippocrates think about this, 460 BC-ish, was quoted, all disease starts in the gut. He knew this way back when, and that was when they were eating real food. They didn't have processed foods. But our guts are so unhealthy. Did you know that one course of antibiotics, like how many people have been on at least one course of antibiotics? Maybe when you were 7 and had an ear infection, right? Destroys your gut bacteria for 1 full year. And it is extremely hard, if not impossible, to bring the gut health back to 100% after that. So most people's guts are so unhealthy, and there's a direct relationship between gut health and brain health. And I don't know about you, but I want to age with a healthy brain. It scares me to death to lose my brain. So that connection is super important. And the P84, this is called, it's 2 sticks filled with 84 plant ingredients plus prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, and digestive enzymes. So it's like, I don't know, 10, 12 products all in one. And you pour them together, mix them in some water, and you drink it. And it is so protective for your gut. You drink it on an empty stomach, either in the morning or at night, and you will feel a difference. We were on a really good pre and probiotic that LifeVantage makes. They were great, but this is up leveled everything. Really, we need to be talking about how you're pooping every day, and how you're able to absorb food. Like, a lot of food sensitivities. People think they're sensitive to certain things, but it's really just their guts are so unhealthy. Weight gain, guts unhealthy. Not able to absorb good nutrients, gut. Skin disease, gut, and inflammation. So all these 3 things together, so amazing. Anyway, so this helps with gut microbiome. So it's so much more than just gut health. It's your whole microbiome. We've got microbiome in our skin and our brains and it's part of our makeup, in a very simple way to say it. So, game changers. Now I'm going to throw it back to Angie.
Yeah, back to me. And this is it. And then we're going to try to get you out of here at the 30-minute mark. We might go a little bit over. We do have 2 stories that we want to share, because in my opinion, we can sit here and tell you fact after fact after fact, but it's the stories that really reach the heart and really make a difference. Dirk, I saw you yawn. No yawning yet. I think we would be remiss not to talk about, really, in my opinion, our best product here at LifeVantage is the opportunity. And if you would have asked me that, maybe 8 years ago, I was afraid to talk about the opportunity. I'm not going to lie. I came from the world of teaching. I was a kindergarten teacher, and I was a skeptic when it came to the industry of network marketing, as was my husband. And so I spent years looking the other way, ignoring friends that posted about it, because I didn't know, right? I didn't know what I didn't know. I knew that my best friends, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousin lost money in that thing, in that pyramid scheme. And it wasn't until I decided, you know what, I'm not going to listen to what other people say. I'm going to be my own judge. And so teaching to start my own business, which was the mobile gym for kids that I talked about earlier. And it was through running that I really learned how to build a business. I learned how to hear the word no. I learned how to create something from nothing. And so that really transitioned perfectly into what I'm doing now. Now, back then, I had no idea what leveraged income was. I knew that I would show up to work, right? And I would get paid. If I was sick, I could not drive that bus or teach classes, and I did not get paid. If my family went on vacation, I would have to take a leave of absence or have to not teach, right? And there was no money. So I was paying for vacation and I was not getting paid. So once I really learned about leveraged income and that I could do work once and get paid over and over and over again, it was a game changer. And if you're listening to this right now, I don't know if it's you or somebody that you know, but it's expensive right now, right? It's expensive to live. My son's home from college right now, and I cannot wait for him to go back because he's freaking expensive. The food bill is outrageous. Don't tell him I said that. I love having him here, but good God, go, right? And so if somebody out there here's what I'm saying, is you don't know who's hurting right now. You don't know who needs some extra money to put their kids in travel sports. You don't know who's having a hard time putting gas in their car. So for you not to share the opportunity part of this, to me, I think is just, it's not okay. And so I want you, if you're listening to this, to have the courage to be open about the opportunity. I am now. I'm loud and proud about it because it's changed my family's entire life. And I say that with so much heart and gratefulness to my team and to everybody who poured into this. So I just want you to know that if there is any interest in the opportunity, please get back to Summer and she will talk more about that. I'm not going to get into the comp plan or anything like that today because I do want to get to two really important stories here. The first is from Gina, the beautiful, beautiful soul that brought Summer into LifeVantage. And so Gina, I know your story and I can't wait for you to share it with others. Gina?
Well, yes, Summer did find me in Tennessee. I had moved here 2 years ago, but prior to that, I was a dental assistant for 26 years, and my body just kind of gave up on me at the age of 45, and I was unable to do my job. It was really hard for me to do my mom life, my grandma life, and just like day-to-day things. Like Angie said, taking a shower, washing your hair, getting yourself dressed. It's amazing when you get an injury of how hard those things are. So I found this product, number one, from my daughter who has lupus, who said, Mom, there's this natural thing that cuts your inflammation, and that's what my disease is. Can you check it out? My cousin Casey sold it, and I never knew. So I had contacted her and got all the information on it. And I said, well, before you try it, I'm going to try it because if I can feel better from a 3-year downhill spiral of my health, then if it's going to cut the inflammation, it's going to happen on me first. So I tried it out. Within 2 weeks, I was already starting to feel better. What I found out was that my gut health that I thought was normal my whole life was not. And my husband told me that every day that I've known him, but I didn't believe him until I started taking our probiotic. Fast forward, my gut health cleaned up. My inflammation dropped dramatically. I was able to move my arm again. My hands took a little bit longer. And over time, I added a little bit more product. We found that collagen was very helpful for most people, and it was really a game changer for me. It allowed my hands to actually have some grip because I was losing my grip in my hands from working on patients for so long. My herniated discs in my neck relieved. I was able to put my arm behind my back for the first time after a few weeks of using it. So those two things were, well, actually the three things were where my base was when I started, but it really changed my life pretty immediately. I would say within the month, I told my cousin Casey, I don't know how I'm going to afford this. I'm not working because of my injury. And she goes, well, you could sell it. And so I did. And I basically transitioned my long career of dental into my new wellness business with LifeVantage. So it can happen for a lot of people in that way because it starts with the products first. You fall in love with them, they help you, and it goes from there. But since then, my biggest skeptic was my husband. And so he's been on the product religiously and will not go without the collagen. He actually sometimes even asks me, can you give me 2 of those yellow pills and the collagen today? Because I need it. We're building a house. So sometimes you need a little extra. But I would say that transitioning from our older, I shouldn't say older, original gut health product to the new P84, I've seen a huge increase of change. Number one, my skin's amazing. It started changing immediately when my gut health got better, but I haven't had skin like this my whole life. I've always had adult acne, always struggled with it. My hair is like growing like a weed. My nails are super strong, all of those good things. But for the first time, I can say I'm a regular person. I can go to the bathroom every day. I feel like my digestion is just on point. I don't struggle with any bloating or anything like that. It's pretty amazing coming from someone who has pretty much lived their whole life locked up. So the other thing that is has been a really big, huge bonus for me is losing 31 pounds since my injury. So when we gain weight, it's usually because we have dysfunction in our body and our hormones are off, our inflammation is huge. But when we start to change things for the better, our body starts to work for us and you can drop that weight a lot easier. So that's been one exciting thing for me because I've always been an athlete my whole life and it was a struggle for me to have that extra weight on me. So I would say that's kind of one of the bonuses. But, and I'm so happy that Summer chose this because of all the great things that I've seen her come to with her health and her husband. It's just great to watch. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. And we're going to close real quick, just a couple minutes here with this just goes to show you that you can do this at any age, you guys. So my very first consultant, the first person to trust me, I think I made her do it, is my own mother.
Yes, you
And
did.
Summer asked if she could come on the call and share just briefly her story of why she said yes to this. She's 73 years old. She's on zero medication. She literally runs circles around me. Like I cannot keep up with her and my dad. My dad's golfing 3 times a week. They're vacationing everywhere under the sun. And I know in my heart it is because they got activated 9 years ago. So mom out in California, give us
Yeah.
a couple minutes.
9 years. Yeah, it's been 9 years this month, I think. And the thing is, I was 64 years old when I started and she came to me. I had just retired from a 34-year heavy duty sales career, national sales. And of course, I was interested in the product first because I love herbs. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And she said, I think you need to sell it. And I'm like, oh my God. But I didn't have any issues. I had no health issues. The only thing I had was my sleep because I had to wake up early, get on a flight all the time. So my sleep was a little eh. As soon as I started taking Protandim the second week, I was sleeping like a baby. It was like that was the first thing I noticed. And my husband, on the other hand, so anyway, I use it pretty much as an insurance policy for me. I don't know what my life would be like now if I wasn't on it. See, because I don't know, because for 9 years I've been on it. So I have all the energy in the world. I still do. I feel good. I feel like I did when I was 40, really, and I'm almost 74. But my husband, on the other hand, was a skeptic, huge skeptic. And he suffered from lower back pain, chronic, elbow tendonitis. After 3 months, well, after about 4 months, I said, please just start taking it, please, for me. So he did start. Three to 4 months later, no tendonitis, no more lower back pain ever. And it's been 9 years, almost 9 years for him. So that's kind of my story. That's not really my story, but it's a story, right?
That's
It's
the
a good story.
story. Now you guys
Yeah.
make a little extra to travel with. So I love it. Thank you, Mom.
Well, and the extra money does come in handy, that's for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So,
Uh-huh.
Summer, did you want to close us out and thank everybody for coming? And
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time. And it's just so important. And if it's not you that's suffering from something yet,
Mhm.
you know what? Life happens. We age. One last thing about activation is our cells are aging, but when we are activated on the little yellow pill, maintaining and they're replenishing and they're allowing whatever it is you are taking in, whether food, whatever,
Yeah.
it allows you to receive it at a healthier level. And so thank you guys so much for hopping on and taking the time.
thank you, Summer. And if you're watching this, the replay of this, and you'd like to be added to our customer group on Facebook called Vitality Rocks, be sure to get back with Summer or whoever shared this with you, because there's lots more information, lots more testimonies. This is just a very brief snapshot of what we do. So everybody have a wonderful evening, and thanks so much for listening. Take care.
Thank you.